Hi everyone. Today I want to show you how to import your county list for your properties into the Investment Dominator system. That's basically the first step in getting your prospects loaded into the system so that you can then send out your mailings, send out your offers, and then kind of work that from a prospect record all the way to a buyer's record to a selling record and complete a full deal using the software as a management tool. So let's start with the first step, which is the import process. And in this, to begin with, let's start with land, and then we'll talk about houses. It's really the same process, but I want to show you both. So we'll start by hitting land to go to the land section. We're under the land section, as you can see, because it's green, and the tab up here for land is green also. And as you can see, we have no records in the system, which is probably what your Investment Dominator tool looks like at this time. So to go ahead and start adding some records to the system, you can do it one by one by clicking this Add Record option. But really what you want to do is import your county list. That's the best way to use this tool, is to not do it one by one, but actually import a whole set of records. So let's click the Import button. And on this import page, it's going to have 3 steps to follow. The first step is to look at a sample list because your county data does need to be formatted in a particular data format for the tool to recognize it when you do the upload. So the first thing I want to do is click on sample list. It's going to download that, and once it downloads it, I can open it. I'm opening it in Excel 2010. You can open this in Google Docs if you have it, which is so that you don't get caught up in different versions of Excel. But it basically looks the same way. It's all it is or the important things about this is that you want to keep this row number 1 as your header row, and your header row needs to have this exact framework. So it needs to have your first column needs to be type, needs to be first name, last name, company, address, city, state, zip, APN, property, state, county. The other thing is it's very picky. It needs to have it in this format, so you can't just write it in all lowercase. What I would do, because it's very picky with the format, is to actually copy this header row from this sample list and paste it into your list, into your record 1 or row 1 of your list. That way you ensure that the case is the same, the letter casing is the same, and everything. There's no typos or no spaces, because even if there was a space at the end of this, that might cause some issues when you import. You're importing raw data into a program, so it is kind of picky when it comes to what it allows into the system, as you can imagine. The other thing that it's picky about is under type. This is going to be the record type, the import record type. And since you are importing prospects from your county list, it's either going to be an individual, meaning it's just a person. There's no company. It's not under a company name. Or it's going to be a company. And company includes properties that are owned by LLCs, churches, trusts, incs, anything like that. Basically anything that doesn't have a first name or a last name in your county data. So when you get your list from your county, sometimes all they have is a company name, like an LLC name, and they don't have an actual person's name as the owner. And that's fine. All you have to do is make sure that you specify which one it is. And again, this is case sensitive, so you do want to copy this value out and paste it into your sheet. Now, let me show you what I'm going to load a sample list so you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. Okay, you can see here is a sample list that I have. Now, as you notice, I've copied over the headers. So I have the type, first name, last name, company, address, city, state, zip, APN, property, state, property, county. They're all in the same order. They're all in the same letter case as my sample file that we were just looking at. You can also see that I've copied over the values for the individual, as well as if I scroll down, I've got some companies. They don't have any first name or last names in there, but they are marked as companies. And then under column D, which if we scroll to the top is the company column, it does have the values for the companies. So this is a sample list that I've formatted to import into the program. So I've taken my raw data from my county and I've put it in this exact column format using the sample list as my guide, and copied over the headers, and then also copied over whether it's a individual or a company. So you can see, let me expand this out a little bit, and you can see what it looks like. So this is a very clean list. You want to make sure that there's no blank records at all, that it looks exactly like this. It's just data. There's no extra blanks. There's no random data floating around in other cells at the bottom, because that will also basically make your import fail. So as long as you have this formatted correctly based off of the sample, let's move on to the next step. And the next step is to import your data list. And one thing to note here is you want to be importing a .csv file, which is also, if you look at the sample list, that is a .csv file. So if you follow that format exactly, you shouldn't have any issues. But I just want to make another note of this, is that you do want to save it as a .csv file. And you can do that in Google Docs, as well as Excel, as well as Numbers if you use a Mac. Once you have your .csv file saved on your computer, all you need to do is locate that on your computer. I've got a list here, a sample list of 5 land records that I'm going to select, and I'm going to click Open to upload it. Now, you can see here the list is ready to go. All I have to do is click the button that says Upload List. Once I do that, it's going to upload it, and it's going to say Import Complete. It also shows me that I've added 5 owners and 5 properties. Now, if something went wrong with the import, you'll probably see a message that says your import did not work. If you try to upload duplicate owners or duplicate properties, you might see that you have less owners uploaded and less properties than you have on your list. And that's just because it's not going to import a duplicate record. So just be aware of that. But right here, I know I have 5 records on my list and 5 imported successfully. So I know everything worked. Now all I do is I hit this back button, or you can click on one of these links. For now, I'm going to hit back, and I'm going to go to my overview. Now you can see we're in the land section. It's a green bar at the top, so we know we're looking at land records here. And here's my 5 records. As you can see, here are the 5 records that I just imported, and they're all under the prospect status. Now that we've imported the land records, let's go over to the house deals. I'm going to click on houses at the top, and you can see there's a blue bar. So I know I'm looking at house deals. Right now I don't have any house deals loaded into the system, so I'm going to go ahead and follow the same process that we just did to import my house list. So again, I'm going to go to Import, and I'm going to choose a file. In this case, I have another sample file that has 5 houses on it, and I'm going to open that, and then click Upload List. You can see that it imported successfully, and 5 owners were added. They weren't duplications, and 5 properties were added. Now if I go back, it's going to take me to my house deals, and you can see now under the house section, we have 5 records under the prospect status.